Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Brown Dust 2 video. Alright, so in the previous video, we talked about the characters, the limited characters, the patch. But in this video, I want to cover more on the buffs. A few characters are getting buffed in this game. Big shout out to the Brown Dust 2 development team for, not ignoring the old characters that we have, right? So one of the few characters, let's jump straight into it. We have a bunch of these, right? So these buffs are perhaps going to be game-changing, we'll see. Alright, I'll definitely try to test out the characters. But you can see Gentle Maid Anastasia and Fire Graffiti Anastasia. So Anastasia is getting buff, okay? That's good news. If you guys have both a costume, I got the Maid Anastasia at +5, and then we got the Fire one at +4. Alright, this is going to be extremely good for me, alright? So as you can see, the Gentle Maid Anastasia, so let's just have a look at +5, right? So increase crit damage by 200%, attack the enemy 3 times, 130% of attack. So that will be changed, as you can see, to increase crit damage by 500%. Now that is a lot of boost. It is a significant boost. Not only is times 2, like more than times 2, right? From 200% to 500% increased crit damage. That means this costume is going to be insane. Alright, the 130% hits 3 times. Still remains the same, alright, but we're getting the crit damage boost. I think this is going to push her towards the direction of her being more meta. Now, right now for Fire DPS character, if you're looking for physical, it's either Anastasia or Lecliss, right? Lecliss is stronger for sure. But I don't know, after this buff, maybe she could be strong. She does have a very front and cross tile though. She doesn't have a 3x3, even with max potential liberation. So that's to keep in mind. One more character, her other costume, Fire Graffiti. So let's have a look at the other ones. So it looks like it's a simple buff, alright? It's just getting the, I believe, the crit damage. So as you can see, increase crit damage by 200%, attack the enemy 5 times, based upon 100% of your attack. So looks like it is the same, alright? 500% crit damage. Attack the enemy 5 times, each attack deals 100% of your attack. So the crit damage is getting buffed. The boost that she is getting is going to be much more significant. So we're gonna need to test that out later on. So let's have a look at Lovely Lady Elise, which is this one. Okay, so Elise has 2 costumes. One is Lovely Lady, one is a codename O. So let's have a look at this particular one, right? So this particular Elise costume, for the longest time, I used to think that this is a very strong costume because she can do 2 things. She can reduce defense and she can also reduce magic resist. So she's a debuffer for both magic and physical team, right? But for the longest time ever, she's not really meta. We don't really get much use out of her because, it's better to amplify the damage received from the enemy or for your allies than to decrease their stats, right? Generally, that makes them a more niche character. But you can see right here, attack the enemy 3 times, 150%, and the decrease of defense and magic resist is 50%. So what change do we have? The damage increase, alright? So attack the enemy 3 times goes up to 185% as opposed to 150. So she is going to do a little bit more damage, but I'm not sure if that's going to be useful enough, right? The truth is, the defense and magic resist, yeah, they don't really have to change the value there because I doubt, if they change this to 100%, it's not going to do much for her, alright? So, but I still think Elise is going to be overall. So I believe that 185. So now if you go potential liberation, she's going to be 210 or something like that, right? Which is kind of insane. So, very, very cool. So her other costume as well, as you can see, codename O Elise. So let's see. Oh, I just realized some of them are also going to have the potential liberation changes. Cooldown from 5 to 3. Oh, Anastasia Fire Graffiti is going to have the cooldown. Wait, let me see this one. I completely missed that one. Anastasia, this one. So Fire Graffiti is going to be this particular one. It's going to also have the cooldown reduction, eh? So this one is the one that hits 5 times. So as opposed to 5 turns, so now she becomes 3 turns. Pretty interesting. Might be actually useful for bosses. I'm kind of curious if there's going to be anything good. So let's look at codename Elise, which is the second costume. So we got 2 costumes for Elise. Now keep in mind in the future, they might buff even more characters, right? So we're just gonna have to be ready for this. Increased damage potential. This is from Liberation from 75% to 100%. Let's see. Okay, so it's gonna be 655 as opposed to 6330. Okay, that's fair, right? Everything else seems to be the same. Increase ally SP by 3 points. Deals, from 555% now 900%. That is quite a big boost. That is pretty good. Yeah, it is a pretty good costume, right? It's going to make her more suited in the meta, right? She's not going to be broken, she's not going to power creep anyone after the buff, but she's probably not as far off as behind compared to other fire DPS characters. Pretty good, I would say. Okay, I'm very excited for this one. Angelica, is she strong now? Because I feel like Angelica is one of my favorite characters in the game. For the longest time ever, I have all... I mean not all, I have 2 of the costume plus 5 as you can see, right? So I do invest in her a lot. So let's have a look at Neon Savior Angelica first, which is this particular one. Okay. So what do we have right now? So I'm just going to look at this particular one. Decrease incoming damage by 75% for 2 turns. That still remains the same. So deals magic damage equal to 5% of the max HP. Deal magic damage equal to the enemy based on 25% of the max HP every turn for 8 turns. Okay. So everything is the same except for now they added one line. This can be applied up to a maximum of 3 times. So she can stack this 3 times. Which might make this an insanely broken costume, right? But this is not a costume that has 1 turn cooldown as far as I know. The cooldown time is 7 turns. So you can't really spam this, you still gotta time this with the other 2 costumes. But it's definitely way better than before. Also HP base limit increase. So change to max of 30,000 as opposed to the previous 20,000. So that's going to affect I believe the crit damage scaling, not her HP, right? But it's going to be her crit damage scaling. Does she actually have 20,000 HP? You can basically check it by going here. You click on this. Yeah, she doesn't have 20,000 HP. That would be insane. So it's just about the scaling. So that's going to be how it is. So as you can see, Pool Party Angelica will have no changes, sadly. But the damage that she does is going to increase. It's going to scale off 30,000 rather than 20,000. Now, is this going to be a big damage boost? I would say so, because it's a 50% increase overall, right, of the max potential. So we're gonna see how this converts in battle. I do think that this is going to be quite substantial to the point that this is going to make her meta again. Because in the previous one, I would say like she's going to be... I'm trying to think in the PvE scenario, right? I think this particular costume, the Pool Party Angelica, she's pretty strong actually in Tower Celebration, if you guys want to use her. But now it's going to make her even better than before. So I am going to be extremely curious. The last but not least is the regular one, the Fallen. Alright, so this one is the one that you can see. Decrease incoming damage 50% and deals magic damage equal to 60% of the max HP. So what will this change? From 60% now will be 80%. Okay. 80%. Huh. I like that. That is pretty good. Overall, this is going to do way more damage. You get, what is that, like 30% increase about there, right? Overall damage. I would say this is going to be a... More than that, I think you get like 50% damage increase for her. I think she's going to be pretty broken. Looking at how she's going to be in the upcoming patch. So basically, 60, so 90%, right? Yeah, I would say this is going to be pretty interesting. I'm not sure what to think yet, right? Because it's like, it's going to be a little bit complicated. But yeah, as in like which one is going to be the better one. But if you already have this costume, I can't see how this is a bad thing overall, right? Next up is going to be Disciplinary Committee Glacia. Now this one is my least favorite. Not a big fan of Glacia, to be honest, because she's a tank, she's a defender. But then she has this one costume that does damage. So little bit of a mixture of whether she's good or not, right? But it's going to be this particular one. So let's have a look. So 2 SP, not too bad, right? Decrease incoming magic damage by 50%. Is it still the same? Yes, it's still the same. Attack the enemy 3 times, base off 250%, and that will increase to 320%. Everything else is the same. So Disciplinary Committee Glacia is going to be, she's going to get buff. Now she is going to be a fixed damage character. If you're looking to use her, I guess for PvP is not bad, right? If you want to use her in PvP, she's pretty good if you have both costume. You get the Eternal Tea Party and this particular one. So she's going to be pretty good. But, you know, I think there's a lot of options for PvP as well. She's not the only one. Sure, right? I can see that being a potential increase. Demon's Daughter Seir. Alright, let's have a look. Seir is going to be a character, very, very good character with a recent costume, right? Too bad that she's a little bit more on the expensive side, right? She needs like a lot of dupes to make her work. Now, Demon's Daughter Seir is going to be this particular one. Now, what are the main changes? So at +0, the SP cost from 4 will become 3. So she's going to be way cheaper. This is at +0. I see. So she's going to be 4 will become 3. I'm guessing at +3 it will become 2 SP. Okay. Final SP consumption including potential will be 1 SP. Wait, final SP consumption. Wait, 1 SP. If you go all the way. Very interesting. I wonder what that means, right? But if this is going to be a 1 SP costume, I think it's good. I think it's going to make her way better, right? She is going to be an overall better character. Now, if she's a 1 SP character, I think she's going to be broken in PvP. Now, we'll have to see what this means, right? Final SP consumption including potential will be 1 SP. Does it mean like it will be reduced by 1 SP, or is it like actually 1 SP? But if she is going to be 1 SP, and if you have this costume at +5, I can see this is going to compete amongst a lot of other defenders, right? Defenders are mostly used in PvP, right? We don't really use them in PvE. Unless you're a new player, you are lacking in costume, but most of the PvE, you want to one-shot the enemy immediately, right? But in most cases, she might be the top 3 defender right now, right? Alongside Glacia, we have Lecliss, we have Grand Hilde. Grand Hilde is probably number 1. And then Morpia is coming. She's probably going to be annoying as well. So those are going to be the characters. Snow White Ventana. Okay, this one I'm extremely curious. Now, Snow White is a very strong character, right? I did not pull for her personally, but I can acknowledge her strength, her prowess, and her capability as someone that back then, before Sacred Justia came out, she's probably the best physical light type. Alright, so if you're looking to build a light team, so it's not going to be this one, but rather this particular one. Okay, so I only have 1 copy at +0. So as you can see, alright, so deals damage 350% of your attack, okay? If the enemy is in taunt or concentrated fire, which you can pair very, very well, you can pair her with Zenith or even Richnet, just to be able to do even more damage on the enemy. Deal damage 700% instead. Insane amount of multiplier. Now this has since skyrocketed to 1050%. That is even higher than before. We get a 350% boost. She is going to be extremely good. And she also has a decent tower range as well, alright? Not someone that you want to mess with. So this is going to probably put her on the radar for one of the highest multiplier character in the game. But again, if you have Sacred Justia, there's less need for her. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. I find these buffs very intriguing because I'm wondering, like, would they power creep the character? Like, it's all in my brain now until I test out the numbers, right? I don't really have her at, you know, +5. But right now, looking at the numbers, it seems pretty insane, right? It's like 1/3 of a damage is like increase right there. It is kind of crazy actually. Now, Alustin. The only male character in this particular list to get buff. Now, I don't have anything against male characters, and I know that most of you guys probably play Brown Dust 2 for the female characters. But here's the truth. Alustin was one of the last male characters that were added. Or was it Natas? I can't remember. It's been so long since they added male characters. But this was like last year, right? So let's have a look. Alustin, Sage of Blue Clouds Alustin. So this is going to be not this one, but this one. This was, I think it was this one. This particular costume was the last male character, the last dude that they added. So this one, as you can see, is not too bad, alright, if you're looking to do damage. It's 1 SP right here, pretty interesting. Alright, so deals damage, scales off 25% of your magic attack, remove the target's stat reinforcement effect. For 2 turns, the enemy's attack decreased by 70%. If the enemy has magic property, magic attack decreased by 70%. So what has changed, right? So let's have a look. 25% is still the same. For 2 turns, 70%. Huh. Wait, nothing has changed. I'm trying to understand. Oh! Deals magic damage to the enemy 7 times based on 25% of your magic attack. So he is going to do damage as well now. Wait, 7 times? Whoa. Now, he only deals damage to the enemy 1 time. And he applied this debuff to decrease the enemy's attack or the magic attack, depending on the property. But after this, he will become a chain stacker 7 times. Pretty interesting. That means he might be very strong in last night, because this is going to be a chain increase. 7 times chain is quite substantial. Yeah, this is going to be pretty good overall. I think this is a big W, big change for Alustin. Sure, the damage might not be that high. Actually, it's not going to be too bad. 7 times 25%. That's going to be like what? Math can't work. Almost like less than 200%, but still pretty good, right? Yeah, it's like it really depends on what you're trying to achieve, right? I would say like he works as a chain stacker at least. If you don't really need him to just apply the stats reduction, because the stats reduction, let's be honest, it's just something that's a little bit lacking in the game. Alright, we just don't really get much out of that. So right now we're getting the 7 chain. At least we get some sort of use out of him, right? Because before this, he's like this debuff. I'm gonna be real with you guys. Decrease enemy's attack by 70% and magic attack. Like, who really cares, right? Like, the truth is nobody really cares. Yeah, it's good. It's good that he is able to do that for 1 SP. It is. He might replace Celia actually for 1 SP. That is like insane, because chain, you want to stack. Stacking chain is very crucial, right? Because it does give you a lot of damage for 1 SP. Huh. Zenith is 5 times or 6 times, so he's gonna be a very good combo. Man, wind type characters are getting buff. Wait, Alustin is wind, right? Yeah. So a lot of wind type characters have really high chain. I'm thinking of Hikage, Zenith, and now Alustin, right? So if you think about it, wind characters, man, they are winning, man. Okay, last but not least is gonna be Killer Doll Lecliss. And this is one of my first costume that I ever got in Brown Dust 2 to max to +5. One of my OG costume that I, obtained at first, did not use anymore afterwards. I didn't even use her in PvP. So as you can see, this is going to be Killer Doll Lecliss, which is not this one, but this particular one. So what is the change right here? As you can see, at 0 SP, the cost will decrease from 6 to 4. Thank you! 6 cost is just insane. Unusable. I'm gonna be real. 6 cost is unusable. Alright? So for them to reduce this to 4 SP. Wait, will she be meta now? Wait, let me think. 4 SP. And then if you go to +3, she become 3 SP. And then you increase this. Wait, she becomes 1 SP? Wait, she becomes 1 SP if you potentially liberate her. Because her potential liberation, again, I didn't do this, but she got 1 here that reduced SP by 1, 1 more node here that reduced SP by 1. So this is 2 SP reduction right here. She's gonna be 1 SP character that can decrease damage by 75% and also apply taunt? I think she's gonna be broken in PvP. Yeah, I think she's gonna be broken. Okay, fixed damage might be a comeback, guys. Fixed damage might be a comeback. Because look at this, right? This decrease incoming damage by 75%, this doesn't matter if it's a Justia or Alec beating her. Because those are fixed damage. Fixed damage goes through any damage reduction effects. That's the pros of fixed damage, right? The cons of fixed damage is it doesn't crit. So it might be a fixed damage meta again in PvP. We'll see. Alright, this is going to be... I find this very intriguing, very interesting. Very peculiar. So, Killer Doll Lecliss. This is the one that's getting the buff, right? And then this one is... Yeah, this one is cheaper, right? This one is 3 SP. But... yeah, I feel like with all of this potential coming in, a lot of these characters are potentially just gonna get way stronger, right? And I might consider building her, right? I might consider going just for this 1 SP. Going all the way to the other one is going to be a bit expensive. And test her out in PvP. But this is literally a free buff. This is not even like you don't have to pay for this. It's not like a super upgrade for this. All the characters are getting buff for free. At no cost at all. And big shout out to the developers for doing this, right? I do appreciate it when games do this, buffing all characters. Something that me, as a player, I truly appreciate stuff like that, right? Oops, wrong game. But you guys get my point, right? So it is going to be something to consider. And I hope they do more for the other characters as well in the future, right? But for now, out of all the changes, I find Alustin is going to be pretty good. That 7 chain, pretty strong. And then we have... this Lecliss here, the Seir as well, is gonna be something that you see a lot in PvP, I'm afraid. What are the other ones? And then Anastasia, right? She might actually be stronger than Lecliss now with the 500% crit damage. So those are going to be very interesting. We're going to test out the numbers and see how it goes. Alright, so that's going to be it for this particular video. Oof, 20 minutes plus. I will need to edit it down a little bit, I guess. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow in the patch. Very excited for the 1.5 anniversary. I'll have a couple of guides coming soon, but it's gonna be a busy week. So if you are new, I'll probably do like a more like a... I already have a beginner's guide on my channel. You guys can check that out, right? But that's going to be something that for beginners they want to do. But for now, I want to focus more on the events because I might want to wait a little bit before I make a new guide because there's going to be new things added in the 1.5 anniversary. Notably the Glacia stuff, the restaurant thing, right? That's going to be something that I want to include as well. So, with that, I'll see you guys again soon. Make sure you guys, if you guys haven't already subscribed, give this video a like. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Have a nice day. Goodbye. Don't forget to turn on the notifications.